Hey guys, so today's first guide is going to be about playing Sentinel on attack. This is something that someone suggested in one of my previous videos. If you guys have any suggestions for guides, let me know. This one is, just to preface the video, I don't play Sentinel, but I do play in high ranks with quite good Sentinel players, and I've seen some pretty crazy plays, so I have generally a pretty good idea that can definitely help people like probably low immortal and below. Even just like simple tips that are going to help you a lot. I think I know a lot of things that are going to be a struggle for Sentinels on attack, because when you attack as a Sentinel, it feels weird because you have all your abilities that are mainly good for defending, and you might not know how to apply them on attack because it's a little counterintuitive. So like the same way that attacking as a duelist is easy and defending as a duelist is harder. So it's kind of like it's the same thing, but it's backwards for those two roles. And so I'm gonna talk about a few different things here. I have a list of things wrote down, and basically what we're going to talk about first is use utility to prevent flanks. So use your turret. If you're Cypher, use your trips. If you're Chamber, use Chamber util. If you're, whatever, use like slows as Sage. Sage is a little bit different though, a little bit of a different Sentinel. So for this example, like I said, I don't play Sentinels, but what you want to do, make sure that you're putting your turret down to watch flanks, right? This might sound obvious, but like this is probably a pretty good turret right here, because this watches the A push. So an example for why this would be good is because like they literally can't make it out short here, right? Like if they want to come and push, they just aren't able to do that. And if they come here, they aren't able to push through here. They have to kill this, and then if they kill it, you know that there's someone there. And so also you see on the map this big circle. This is where you need to be. So maybe if you're putting that turret, maybe don't go C. Like let's push mid, guys. That's another thing we're gonna talk about is communicating what plan you have. So as a Sentinel, you're not entering, which means you shouldn't be going first. And sometimes you'll have duelists that just go in. Sometimes you'll have duelists that are saying where you should go. So if your team says, all right, team, let's go A, you wouldn't put a turret like that, right? Because you don't need to watch A if you're going A. So you put the turret like this right here. And this is good. Actually, you might want to put it a little bit deeper, honestly, because you want the circle around the turret to be like closer to sight. So see, now the circle is right here. So now you have all flank covered. You don't have to worry about flank. If you guys die from flank on a Sentinel, other than like Sage, you're probably not putting your util down to watch it, right? So this is important to do. And similarly, how if you're going C, you don't want to put a turret all the way over here because it'll be out of the range. The big circle will be out of the range. So you probably want to put a turret like this, or maybe an Alarmbot or something, and this will watch the C flank. And now we're going to talk about the other utilities as well here in a second. But yeah, so if you have duelists that are communicating, that's perfect. That's what you want. If you don't, then you're going to want to ask them politely, ask them nicely, hey, can you guys flash in to wherever? Can you guys entry into wherever? And your job is to support them as a Sentinel. You don't want to go in first because you have important utility that can be put down after the spike goes down. For example, Nanoswarm can go down on the spike always, and should almost always go down on the spike. Another way you can use an ability like Nanoswarm, you can throw it like this. And you can do this with any molly. So this prevents the peek from Garage, and if they do peek, they're probably going to lose pretty much all their HP. You can also just hold this like this. So what else do we want to think about? We want to think about the spike, right? As a Sentinel, you're not going first. You don't want to entry. So you are a prime candidate to carry the spike. You don't have to carry the spike. Other roles can carry the spike like Initiator or, whatever. But if no one's taking the spike, I would highly suggest that you pick it up. It's going to be, because like as a duelist, personally, I can tell you guys, I don't pick up the spike. Like the most that I will do, if no one's picking up the spike and it's just sitting here every round, I'll grab it and then I'll transport it over to here like this and just drop it right here. Which, if you're a duelist, you should do that, by the way. But this isn't a video about duelists. So the reason I do that as duelist is because I want to go take fights. So as a Sentinel, you should make it your job to carry it, so that if the duelists are actually doing their job and taking control of a site, you get the spike down. You get the Nanoswarms down on the spike, right? So say we're pushing A here. This is what we're doing. We're covering the flank with this. Your duelist is up here. He's running in. He gets a kill. Site's open. And, make sure they're not heaven. You're going to put the spike down for a normal plant. I'm not going to actually plant it because I don't want the round to end. So say we plant it. That was weird that it bounced. And then you just throw You can throw one, or you can throw both. I would probably throw both, just because... Or you could just throw one. Cool thing you do about Killjoy is throw one. If you have lineups, that's another thing. We're not going to talk about lineups in this video. We're just talking about the fundamentals. So, and then we can have lineups throw a second one. But this is really good. You got to make sure that you pop these whenever... like if you know someone's like right here, you see them on the minimap, you want to pop this a few seconds after that, because you really don't want to pop it too late, because they have a chance they can just kill it, right? So you don't want that. But yeah, so next, yeah, I said don't go first. I pretty much gone through the whole list. But another thing is Alarmbot. So if you take control of a site, you want to use turret to watch flank. You don't want to use Alarmbot really. Generally, you can use it to watch flank. But generally, I would use Alarmbot in like aggressive positions, or at least that's how I see Killjoys use it. And on defense, it's obviously easier, but like for example, you can put this here. This is really strong. You can even put it. You don't have to put it there. Actually, you can put it. You can put it toward the spike here, and then throw it like this. The reason I came back to A here is because I want to show you guys a Killjoy ult. If you ever have Killjoy ult, you want to try to use it as soon as possible. This is the case with any ult in the game, pretty much. Not every instance you want to use it instantly, but pretty much always you want to try to, whenever you get your ult, you want to try to coordinate with your team to pop it. So in this case, I'm looking, alright guys, let's go A short. Make sure you clear out everything, make sure they're not in these corners, make sure you're not going to peek you. You should have a duelist here, teammates, and then you're just going to ult this, right? And look at this, takes all of sight. I don't think they can be, they might be able to be here, hell, but there's no way they're going to live if your team's pushing on. This ult can be spammed, so be aware of that. You can ping this, and it can be shot right here with an Odin. So be careful. You can also you can move it a little bit over, but yeah, it can be shot through this wooden beam here. So, by the way, you don't have to ult there. You can ult anywhere. I'm just saying that you should use your ult as Killjoy, because it's a free chance to get a control of a site, right? And if you get control of a site, you're probably gonna win the round. There's a higher chance you're gonna win the round, and as soon as you use your ult, you're going to start recharging it again anyway. If you hold your ult, you're not getting any more progress toward your ult because you already have it. So if you ult instantly, you can get like 2 or 3 ults in a half, and or more if you're fragging. Other ults we can do are like, we can take control of close B and then clear everything. My cat's on my mouse pad, so I can't really turn accurately. He's literally making my mouse button click. But we can ult like right here. This is really good. This is also really good. If we have B site, we can use that to take control of B site, or we can just use it to for post plant after the spike's already down. And then again, you have all this stuff. You have the Nanoswarm, you have Alarmbot, you have turret watching flank somewhere over here. Like maybe it's in garage window, maybe it's maybe it's over up here, because see, you can actually be standing right here, and maybe you want to put it a little bit deeper so you can stand in this corner and ult. These are the types of things you want to be thinking about when you're playing Killjoy. So another ult, you could go like this. There's actually, if you're taking control of garage like this, you can ult right here. The only thing about this is they can be back there, but if you're pushing C with your team together, then it's going to be very good. They're not going to be able to live unless your team's not pushing together. Also, when you ult, you really want to make sure that you tell your teammates when and where you want to ult, so that they can help you take control. Because again, if you're trying to push into garage alone, you probably just end up dying, and you're not going to be able to get the ult down. And if you don't die, then you're going to be alone anyway. And also, you can do some pretty cool fakes with Killjoy ult. So those are other things to think about. BC. Just so you guys can see, this is what this one looks like. So they can only be like right here and back here. So you can keep that in mind. You can't really ult from C long, because this one leaves too many gaps. Like they can be all of here. So this is not good. This ult's not worth it. You can always ult on any site. My cat is just crazy right now. You can ult like default on any site, and it covers the whole site obviously if you ult from the middle of site. Go to Alarmbot placements is always good. Nanoswarms always on the spike if you can. Either use Nanoswarms for the spike, or like clearing out angles like this. You can use Nanoswarms to help take space, just like this. Pop it, make sure they're not pushing mid. And then if they push through this, they're crazy. And you can just do it next round and help your team, or ask your team to help you. So also another thing with Killjoy turret, this can be used to peek with, right? I see a lot of high ranked Killjoy players do this. So you can like you can like put a turret down. This scans a pretty large radius. I think it's like a 180-degree radius. So you see it looks all the way over to right here, and then it looks all the way over to like over there, right? So this is covering, like, if you imagine a circle, it's covering 1/2 of the whole circle. And so what you can do is whenever you're like, especially whenever you're like alone, or whenever you're in like a 1v2, 1v3, you can just put a turret down on attack, and if they start shooting it, you can wide swing them, because they're going to be focused on shooting the turret, and then they're going to have to readjust their aim and let their aim, you know, recoil come back. So you put that down. That's really good for attack, especially. You can do that, of course, on defense too, whenever you're retaking. But, you know, if you're not doing that on Killjoy right now, then, you know, you're probably missing out. So, yeah. If you guys have any questions about Killjoy, there's probably other, like I said, lineups. I'm not doing lineups because I don't play Killjoy and I don't really feel like finding them. But just know that those are things you can do on any agent that has lineups. You can use them. So hopefully this is useful. If you guys have any questions about Killjoy, or if you want me to make a guide on Chamber, Cypher, Sage, just let me know in the comments, and I'll be more than happy to look into it for you. So, yeah, much love, guys. Thanks for all the support recently. I'll see you guys in the next one.